I might need to sip a little wine if I'm a, you know, be as open with y'all as I want to be in this video. So like it's a lot. It's a lot. Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel, Simply Kee Samone. If you are new here, I want to say welcome, and if you're returning, I want to say welcome back. Here on my channel, I make videos all about love, locks, and lifestyle. So if that interests you, then please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below, and also do not forget to subscribe. Make sure you turn on your post bell notifications so that you'll be updated every time I post a new video. Also, do not forget to follow me on Instagram at _Kee Samone. There is where I post just, you know, day-to-day things. If you feel like you want to get to know me a little bit better, then make sure that you head on over to Instagram and follow me there. Okay y'all, so hopping right into the video. Today I wanted to do just a regular sit down video. It's not necessarily any like rhyme or reason to the video. I kind of just wanted to come and just like talk about what's been on my mind, what's been going on with me. I don't think I've ever just sat and like had a chit chat and didn't like actually have like a subject. There's just been kind of like some things that's, you know, on my mind or going on in my life, or things that I've, you know, been doing that I just wanted to chit chat about, because I feel like a lot of times, even though I have been, you know, vlogging or making videos about locks or chit chats and things like that, like I always keep it pretty surface level, if you will, and I don't necessarily like go into depth about like me personally. And that's probably that, you know, big Scorpio energy, that big Scorpio female energy. We tend to be very private people, so I definitely am very mindful and intentional with what I do share on my channel and what I do share on Instagram. But I was feeling a little, you know, I don't know, I wanted to share more or give more, you know, also with keeping, you know, certain things private, but also wanted to just share more and just give y'all a little insight as to my life right now, what my life is looking like right now, what I hope for my life to look like in the future, and just some things that I've been, I guess, going through, growing through, things like that. So if that interests you, then just please keep on watching. Okay y'all, so first and foremost, I am sipping wine today. I know in like my previous sit down videos and like in my vlogs, I've been saying, you know, I've been cutting back on the drinking, but it's Saturday evening. It's currently what, 5:13 p.m. Saturday evening. I'm chilling. I don't have any plans tonight. So yeah, I just poured me up a nice glass of Pinot, and yeah, we're just gonna get to talking, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, I guess, kind of let y'all in on what's going on with me, if that's something that you even care about. But yes, so let's just sip a little bit first, because I might need to sip a little wine if I'm a, you know, be as open with y'all as I want to be in this video. So okay, so diving into the very first topic that I wanted to talk about, something that I've been getting asked quite often for the last like 6, 7, 8 months. As you may know, if you're new here, then you wouldn't know, but this past December was my last day in the military. I served 8 years and 3 months, about 8 years and 3 months in the military. So I was active duty, and pretty much all of my entire 20s was in the military, and I just recently separated from the military. It was definitely a big change, and whenever you're getting ready, if you know anybody in the military or if you've been in the military yourself, you always hear people saying that, you know, it's a big change, it's a big mind shift. And you know, me personally, I was secure financially, because that's most of the, I guess, that's the biggest issue that people think about. You know, am I going to be secure financially? Am I going to be okay? And for me, that part was not an issue. And so I was like, yeah, I'm set. Like, I'm gonna be free. Like, I'm out here. it's time to get into my civilian bag, okay? It's time for me to get back to civilian Kee, because at that point, to be honest, because you know your 20s is pretty much when you're growing the most and when you are, you know, becoming the person that you are. And I feel like because I did spend that in my 20s, like there was some parts of me that I definitely lost, because my life pretty much revolved around my job. And coming out, of course I was excited, and of course the freedom and everything, it was there, but I definitely didn't take into account the I guess the mental effect that it would have on me. So when I'm, you know, going through everyday life, you know, trying to adjust and things like that, in the past 6, 7, 8 months, everybody is looking at me like, so what are you gonna do now?
Oh, you're only making YouTube videos now?
Oh, you, like, what are you doing? And it, to be honest, you know, even family, friends, or just people that are just curious in general, of course, completely understandable. You know, that's something to be curious about, because it's like, okay, we know that your life has been taken care of, you know, for a certain amount of years this far, like what's next for you? And to be honest, I do feel like it's a little intrusive to a point, especially seeing as how I'm, you know, currently I don't have a 9-to-5, and I didn't jump straight into a 9-to-5. I guess people kind of trying to pick apart what it is that I'm doing, because, you know, it's always, you need to be working hard, you need to be working towards the next thing. And quite frankly, that's literally how I've been throughout my teenage years and throughout the military. I was always looking for the next thing. I was always, you know, working so hard to achieve the next thing, looking for the next thing, and not really, I guess, living in the moment of where I was. So I've really been taking the time to mentally decompress. That is first and foremost. That has been the most important thing to me, because like I said, mentally I didn't prepare. And I don't think a lot of people mentally prepare when they are transitioning out. And that's one thing that just hits you. I don't really think you can mentally prepare, now that I think about it. I think once you get to that point, you're out. Like, one day you put on the uniform and the next day you're not in uniform. So it's like, where do I go from here? I think the biggest mental struggle for me, of course, like I said, it was happy having that freedom, and it's been good to, you know, have a breath of fresh air, like not having like a certain amount or like a written, laid out I guess rule book of what you should be and what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing, and basically have a layout for your entire life. Because in retrospect and in all honesty, that's what being in the military is. You have pretty much a rule book, without going into detail, just explaining it into layman terms to anybody who has never been in the military. You pretty much have a rule book, you have your job, and everything else follows within that realm. Like, it's no gray area. Like, it's black and white. Like, this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is what you're going to do in order to progress and to do better, and this is how you should act, this is how you perform. And to a certain extent, it really does brainwash you. Now, I don't want to get too deep into like what I mean by that, but I mean, if you can read in between the lines, or if you know somebody who's been in the military, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Okay. And we sip. So, with that being said, once you are out, and especially being such a, I guess, I won't say career-driven person, but a success-driven person, because that's me. I take pride in everything that I do when it came to work or just anything in life. Anything that had my name tied to it, I was very, you know, go, and making sure that everything is perfect. And if there was something that I was doing good, I always looked for, you know, what I could be doing better. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of took that blueprint away from me, and I was kind of left with, what next? Knowing that I had, you know, plenty of opportunities laid out in front of me, because transition services is amazing. And by no means did I think that I didn't have any options, like as far as career. My job in the military was IT. I was an IT specialist, so I worked with a lot of computers and like, you know, networking and you know, management of information and things like that. But I knew that if I did get out, I wanted to be in a job field that I knew was going to be lucrative and that I could always make money. So I did, you know, go to school, got a degree, got certifications while I was in the military, and I got plenty of experience, 8 years of experience in IT. So I knew career-wise, like I would be fine. I could, you know, walk out and get a job. That wasn't the issue. I think the issue for me was mentally was feeling like a sense of failure. And that is not a feeling that I've ever, I guess, had to deal with in the magnitude that I feel like I've had to deal with in the last 6-7 months. Not feeling as though I myself is a failure, but like me getting out and hearing so many people, you know, saying, you know, talking about staying in for 20 years and, you know, following a career path that's not necessarily what it just wasn't in the cards for me, to be honest. Like, if I'm just summing it up without going into too much detail, I knew that that wasn't my path. I knew that this was the time period in which I needed to get what I needed, you know, what I wanted and what I needed for that time frame. And that was pretty much it, you know what I'm saying? So I did have a very, very immense feeling of failure in a sense, even though in hindsight, now looking back at it, like I didn't really feel it anything. It was just the culture and like what is taught to you and what is put into your mind to, you know, make you feel that way. So that was definitely a big mental hump. Of course, the upside was that I had plenty of time to, you know, dedicate to content on YouTube, because like I've always said, and I've always made it apparent, that I love YouTube. I've been watching YouTube for like over 10 years, like fully invested. Like it's a platform for entertainment, it's a platform for, you know, comfort, it's a platform for knowledge and education. So in that aspect, I love it. And then you wrap it all up with a creative bow. Like it's just always felt like I wanted that to be my outlet. So in that regard, I was, you know, very happy because I had the time and the mental capacity to be able to create on YouTube and, you know, just further my channel, grow my channel, in which I have been. I'm so grateful for that. Like that is like has been the light of my last like 9 months of life. Like my YouTube channel has been like my driving force. But lately I have been thinking, you know, I've been wanting to do more. So I have this thing where, like how I was just saying, like I'm super, you know, success driven, is that I'm always looking for, you know, the next thing and what I could do better. And it's crazy that I'm talking about this because earlier today I was watching my cousin, she has a channel here on YouTube, Nasia Michelle. I will link her channel down below. But she made a sit down chit chat video, and I know that all the women in our family are exactly the same, because she literally was describing the same thing, was always, you know, looking for the next thing. And even if we failed just a little bit in our eyes, because she gave the example of, you know, being in high school and getting a 90 on an exam or 90 on a test. But, you know, instead of saying, oh yeah, I got a 90, like we're thinking in our head like how we could have gotten to that 100. And I feel like that, when I heard her say that, it described me so well. And I was like, dang, I know, girl, I know all the women in our family, like is the exact same thing. Like I just went to Chicago to my cousin's law school graduation. Like I'm sure it took so much of that feeling and so much of that drive to be able to get her through undergrad, and then also, you know, going to grad school and doing 3 more years to achieve her law degree. So in that regard, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Like I'm not employed yet. I am, you know, self-sustained. Like myself and my wife, we are blessed to be able to take care of ourselves and live comfortably. And, you know, by no means are we balling out of control or anything, but just for our age, I'm 28 and she is 32. For us to have been able to buy a house together and, you know, not have to worry about, you know, bills and everything, especially in today's economy, like with the prices and everything, like it's a lot. So in that regard, we are very blessed. But being a full-time content creator is something that I've strived for. It's something that I've thought about before I even got out of the military. But I believe deep down in my soul that, you know, I don't want to like fully commit to being a full-time content creator just yet, because I feel like I have so much other potential in so many different aspects, and that's probably just that, you know, success driven force that's within me. But it put me in a mental space to where I was like, you know, what more could I be doing instead of sitting and, you know, looking back at my accomplishments. Like I set a goal out to reach 1,000 subscribers by New Year's, and I did that. I you know, wanted to get monetized on YouTube before I believe, what did I set for myself? I think it was like April or May, and I did that. And, you know, I'm still sitting here and I'm like, why do I still feel like a failure? Like, why do I still feel like I'm not doing enough? Like I have, you know, a career that I had in the military that I could be proud of. You know, I accomplished so many things with that. I'm accomplishing all the things that I wanted to on YouTube. Like, why am I still feeling like this sense of like, I'm not doing enough? You know what I'm saying? And I honestly had come to the realization it was how, you know, we're programmed. And when I say we, I'm talking about like the average, I don't want to say average, but the millennial black woman or the millennial black man. When we were in high school and when we were in middle school, you know, the goals were to graduate high school, you know, get a good enough GPA, apply to college, go to college, graduate college, and go get a job. Like that was basically what was taught to us from elementary school on up. And seeing as how I had already, like, I guess, stepped outside of that, even though there are plenty of people that were in my family that, you know, have been in the military or were in the military or I knew had a lot of, I guess, military influence around me. Granted, that wasn't my first choice because I did go to college for a year. And then I was in like that in-between phase of like, what now? I feel like I had already stepped out of that. And even then, that was a hard thing to do because I had already kind of like had like a little sense of failure because I was like, dang, I went to school for a year and now I'm leaving to go to the military. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like a double whammy on top of that. I'm leaving the military to do what? You know what I'm saying? So even though, you know, leaving the military was mostly for my physical and mental health, it's just not for everybody for 20 years. But I feel like if you can, you know, do the time that you can do and get out of it what you can get, because the military is definitely going to get what they need out of you, okay? And then when you're gone, they're going to replace you. That I should not have that sense of dread. And I feel like that's how I was programmed and how, you know, a lot of my peers as a millennial are programmed that if you're not breaking your back and if you're not working 2 and 3 jobs and if you're not, you know, tired when you come home from work and if you're not, you know, bending over backwards and just doing a lot of things like sacrifice, that you are a failure. So I feel like I had to come to that realization that I wasn't, and try to retrain my brain and retrain my thinking into, you know, knowing that success is not just one route. Success is multiple different routes, and it doesn't have to look like, you know, your parents or their parents, or, you know, what society was back when we were growing up. And to be honest, I mean, all you have to do is log on to Instagram, log on to YouTube, log on to TikTok, and you can see that, you know, millennials and Gen Z, like, they're completely changing that entire narrative. And I honestly think it's so beautiful. I feel like being able to wake up and have the option to, whether you want to go to a 9-to-5, or whether you want to create content, or whether you want to start a business, or whether you want to, you know, just anything that you want to do is possible. And I feel like now that we have all of this, you know, knowledge and opportunity at our fingertips, it's, you know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But for me, it was kind of like, oh shit, like, I feel like I have so much that I could do. What do I do? Like, I kind of got into this analysis paralysis, I guess you could say, because I was comparing myself to, you know, I had to think about comparing myself to a person who maybe went to, you know, a 4-year college and got a degree in like cybersecurity or information technology. I have a computer science degree, certs, and 8 years of IT experience. Why, you know, I have an opportunity to go do something more. And so I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, how I don't want to, you know, limit myself by passing that up, because that is a blessing. Because, you know, coming out of college, I mean, I know plenty of people that come out of college and they have no idea what they're going to do, have no idea what they want to do. But you know, I have an opportunity to seize that. But I also have the opportunity to seize you know, content creation, and, you know, do things that I'm really passionate about, as far as, you know, being a creative, and, you know, being able to express myself. And it put me in a weird space, because it's like, do what's practical or do what feels good, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, to be honest, both do fit that criteria in some form or fashion. And I had to just really sit down and look at the pros and cons of everything, and, you know, figure out what it is that I want to do. I don't want to dive too much into like what my decisions are on that yet, because there's things that are still in the making and things that are still in planning. And I don't really like to talk too much about things that, you know, I'm planning to do, because I'm a doer, and I would rather, you know, show up and do rather than talk about something. One thing that I have been doing and focusing on is just, like I said, retraining my brain. And I feel like breaking out of the conditioning that I and myself, so many like myself, have been trained to do, is have this scarcity mindset. I feel like we were raised in a time, and I'm not talking about like, you know, your privileged like silver spoon kids. I'm talking about your lower to middle class, like poverty line kids. Not saying that I was, you know, super poor or anything, but I did have to watch my mom work very, very hard to be able to take care of my sister and I. And I have plenty of friends where our parents literally broke their backs to be able to, you know, provide for us and give us what we needed. And I feel like that trained us to think in a way where we you know, would lack if we did not do those same things. And breaking out of that mindset is very, very hard. Being that one person in your family to you know, be the one to have all of these different ideas, and, you know, to even think about entrepreneurship, and, you know, to think about being successful in a creative sense, or, you know, doing things that are not, you know, traditional in, you know, your community, is scary. It's really scary. So coming out of the military, that's another thing that hit me, because it's like, here I am again, you know, going off to the left and not really following the path in which I thought was supposed to be laid out for me. It really is it really takes a toll on you mentally when you're not really ready for it, especially if you don't necessarily know who you are or where you're supposed to be at the time that you are there, if that makes sense. So that's something definitely that I've been working on. Another thing that I've been doing and focusing on heavily is, you know, self-care and just being mindful. Now, self-care, I know a lot on social media, you see self-care as like luxury. You see self-care as, you know, buying yourself designer bags and taking yourself out, you know, to 5-star restaurants, or, you know, the bubble baths, and, you know, buying yourself whatever you want, and the face masks and everything. But self-care to me has been more than just I guess the tangible aspect of it. Has been a lot more of the mental aspect of it. I've been doing a lot of shadow work, and if you don't know what shadow work is, it's basically just, you know, going within, looking into your past self, you know, your inner child, and healing that, and just trying to understand the things that you went through and how they are affecting you now in life, in order for you to, you know, heal and move from that, or heal and grow and move from that. I've been doing a lot of that. I've been practicing a lot of mindfulness, in the sense of, like I mentioned earlier, not necessarily always looking for the next thing, or what I could be doing better, or what I need to be doing better, based off of, you know, family members or friends asking me, you know, what's next, like, oh, you're not working a 9-to-5, or what are you doing? And it's, you know, makes you feel like you're not doing enough, when granted, in that moment, you're okay. Not to say that you should just remain stagnant, but you should be able to at least sit for a moment and just be, you know, happy in where you are. You should be able to, you know, be mindful and look back on the past 3 to 5, 8, 10 years and be like, dang, you know, a previous form of myself was praying for what I have now and where I am now. And I feel like I lost sight of that, and I have been able to regain that back, because in all reality, I have accomplished a lot. You know, I have done a lot. I have, you know, done the things that I wanted to do and more. Like, I never would have pictured myself a homeowner in my 20s, you know, and being in a successful relationship, let alone a successful marriage, and just being successful in also the things outside of my normal career that I, you know, wanted. I would have never pictured that for myself. And there's still other things, you know, that I have done or had been a part of, and not even known that I could do any of those things or half of those things, because of, you know, how I was raised or what I was exposed to, you know, growing up. So I feel like in that regard, I have definitely been doing a lot of work on myself. Another thing is just, I guess, not really feeling like, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm 28. I'll be 29 in October. And I feel like as soon as I turned 28, I started shifting mentally. And I am convinced that 28 to 29 or 28 to 30 is like you going through it, okay? Mentally, emotionally, in all of your relationships, whether that be family, whether that be friends, whether, you know, work, you are starting to shift. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but there is a lot of people that are in like my age group and like my peers that are experiencing this in so many different ways. Like, we are evolving, you know, from young adults to, you know, grown, more established adults. Like, we have more knowledge and life experience and discernment to be able to navigate through life a little bit better. I find myself not being as interested in the things that I used to be interested in or used to want to insert myself into. I find myself kind of looking at things less linearly than I was, and looking at things from different aspects. So for example, if there is some sort of conflict, I'm able to look at it more than just from my perspective and look at it from, you know, a lot of different perspectives. And I feel like that all comes with growth. It's scary at times because you grow up and you find that, you know, people or groups or genres, even music, clothes, just environments, just everything is different now. You're drawn to different things now, and I feel like that's also such a scary thing to do, because it's like, you know, like you almost don't really know who you are anymore. But I feel like that's all a part of growth, and that's not something to shy away from. I feel like that's something that you should kind of, you know, let happen. I feel like we're not meant to be the same person that we were, you know, 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. And I feel like some people get caught in this trap because, you know, even though there are a lot of people that are growing, even myself, a lot of people that are growing and experiencing different things in life and learning that, you know, there are a lot of different things that are more important than what was important to them then. It's not so much important to them now, but there's also people that are still kind of, I guess, caught in this trap of being in the same space and being in the same, I don't know, mindset, if you will, and stuff. I don't know, it's just certain stuff in my life that just does not serve me anymore. And it's just so crazy because sometimes I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, like, who are you? Like, there are times when I couldn't look in the mirror and just, you know, think that I was beautiful. A lot of things that have helped me, like my lock journey, like that, like within itself, like I never even picture myself taking the leap to be able to feel comfortable, you know, in my own skin and my natural hair, and, you know, going left instead of going right with the crowd. Like that literally blows my mind every day, just like noting the growth. I feel like the main thing that I wanted to kind of get across in this video is just that I am coming into my own. I feel like I've done so much, you know, that I've done so much growing within the last like 8 to 9 months. If you are going through a period in time in life where you kind of feel like you're not doing the norm, or you're feeling off because you just don't feel like that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's okay. Take that time for yourself. Withdraw from whatever situations that you need to in order to find out what it is that you really want and the things that you really, you know, enjoy doing, things that are going to make you happy. Because at the end of the day, life is super, 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 super short. We've been seeing this, you know, on the news and on social media. You know, things happen every day. You don't know when it's going to be your last day here on this earth, here in this, you know, human experience, living and growing and experiencing things. You don't know. So why not, you know, indulge in the things that are going to make you happy? Why not indulge in the things that are going to help you grow? Why not, you know, go to that therapy session and grow from the things that, you know, you have in your past? You know, why hold on to things that are not serving you? Why stay in relationships that are not serving you? Why stay in a career path that's not serving you? Why do those things just because of how you were groomed or how you were, you know, programmed, how we've been programmed since birth? Like, how is that going to help you? Life is too short to live unhappily. Life is too short to, you know, just put energy into things that don't make you happy, that aren't going to grow you into a better person, that aren't going to, you know, feed your creativity or feed your brain or feed your mind or feed your soul or feed your heart or, you know, your physical body. Like, life is just too short to not indulge in those things if you want to and if you crave to. And also just being able to sit and be mindful, because while you're doing, you know, transforming and doing the things that, you know, serve you best, just being able to sit and be mindful and be happy where you are in the moment. Because if you can't sit and be happy where you are in the moment, I honestly do not feel like you can grow. And I've been understanding that if I couldn't sit in whatever situation that was, whether that's, you know, career or anything in life, if I couldn't sit and be happy and content and grateful where I was, there's no way that I can see myself doing anything greater or being happier or doing anything different. Okay, y'all, so my camera died, and I'm pretty sure that means that I'm rambling too much. I don't want to make this video super long. Just a quick life update where I am mentally. I feel like I've done so much work within myself. I've been feeling so much lighter mentally and emotionally, and just, you know, how I see myself, like my self-image is just evolving so much. I honestly feel like there is nothing that I cannot accomplish, and I feel like there is nothing and no one in this world that can stop me from that. I'm so blessed to have a partner that I'm able to grow with, because I feel like we're on this journey together. Like, we're both evolving into just evolving into this person that we never thought that we would be, and that's just because we have been doing the work. I feel like people go through life and they see people, you know, evolving and changing. They're like, dang, like, you know, this person is doing this and this person is doing that, and they're not seeing the behind the scenes of the hard work that this person is doing with themselves or with their business or with their career or, you know, with their social media. I feel like social media has really sabotaged people in a way of comparison wise, because you're able to peek into people's lives so easily, like at your fingertips, that you're, you know, not seeing what they're doing offline. You're only seeing like the end product and, you know, what is, you know, what they allow you to see, and you paint that in your mind as that's all that their life is, and that is not the case. I do want anyone to take from this video to just do the work. If you're not happy where you are in life right now, this is not your end all be all. This is not the only place that you're gonna be in life. The only way that you're always going to be in this place is if you allow yourself to, is if you don't move, is if you don't do anything that's gonna make yourself uncomfortable. Like I said, you know, the end all be all for me was not initially, you know, staying in college, you know, back when I did. The end all be all was not me, you know, staying in the military for 20 years and not being able to, you know, have the time and the opportunity to accomplish and do the things that I wanted to do. The end all be all for me was not sitting in a space where I was not happy, where I was not getting fed emotionally and mentally. Even though I would have been successful in staying in both of those spaces, I would have accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish. But at the end of the day, even though it was uncomfortable to transition out of those things, I always came out better on the other end. And I want people to be able to know that whatever you're doing now, if it's honestly not what you want to do, if it's not making you happy, if it's not feeding you emotionally and physically, and it's not serving you in a way that you feel like you're growing as a person, it is okay to take yourself out of that situation. It is okay to take yourself out of that relationship. It's okay to take yourself out of that career. It's okay to take yourself out of that, you know, relationship. Like, it's okay to, you know, experience and grow and do the work within yourself and just figure out what it is that's really gonna make you happy. And I don't think that, you know, you're gonna know per se, like, oh, I need to do this, this, and this to make me happy, but at least you're able to give yourself the space to figure that out. Because like I said, this journey of life, this human experience, we're growing non-stop. So 10 years from now, what makes me happy is not going to be the same thing that's making me happy right now. And I am going to be able to be comfortable with whatever that switch is. So life is too short to sit where you are and just, you know, be doing the things that, all the things that, you know, maybe somebody else wants you to do, or what somebody else expects you to do, or what society says, or what's on social media, what you feel like you need to be doing because such and such is doing this. Like, don't let that stop you from doing you. Like, don't let that stop you. And in turn, like during all that, while you're, you know, transforming and figuring out what it is that's going to elevate you and put you in those places that you want to be, make sure that you're working on yourself. You are not going to elevate and grow if you do not tackle those demons in your closet, if you don't tackle those demons that's within your heart, if you don't tackle those demons that's within your mind, like those skeletons in your closet. Like, tackle that stuff. Like do the work. Like I said, do the shadow work. Like, do, you know, the scripting, do the journaling, like get a therapist, like go, you know, start working out, do anything that is going to make you feel good and help you work on the areas in your life that you want to work on. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. You might have to isolate yourself from certain people or certain situations for a period of time, but I promise you, you are gonna grow and you are gonna feel so much better, and you're gonna continue to grow, and you're gonna always look back, you know, 2 years later, 3 years later, and be like, you know, I'm so glad that I took that leap. I'm so glad that I, you know, went through that period of uncomfortability, because in all honesty, growth is uncomfortable. Like, growth doesn't feel like, oh, I just won a trophy. No, growth is sometimes breaking down and crying, and it's like, why am I like this? Like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this? Oh my gosh, like this feels so crazy. But at the end of the day, it's the end goal. It's how you feel now. Yes, it is the end goal, but you can't always just focus on the end goal. You can continue to work towards, you know, a vision that you have for yourself, but always make sure that you're mindful in the moment, taking care of yourself in the moment, and, you know, what you need, because that's very important. Because I know a lot of people like to, you know, care about everybody else around them, and, you know, do things that are going to serve everybody else around them and make everybody else around them happy. But at the end of the day, you have to make moves for you and you only. I feel like this conversation has been way longer than what I wanted it to be, but I hope that somebody got something out of this. This is where I am mentally, and I honestly feel like every day that I wake up, it's an opportunity for me to conquer the world and get closer to all the things that are going to make me the happiest, and whatever's going to make me the happiest in that very moment. And I want everyone that is in my audience, if you are drawn to my videos, like, I want to be able to help, and I want you to be able to just enjoy life, be happy mentally, physically. Don't feel like you have to break your back for things that you don't want to break your back for, and just know that growth is uncomfortable. And if you're evolving and you feel like you're not connecting to the things that you used to connect to, then it might be time for you to, you know, sit down, evaluate, and see where you are and see the things that you want to change. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, or my Key Talk. I hope that this video is not rambly. I hope it makes sense. I hope somebody takes something from this video. This is just where I am mentally and physically, and it feels good to grow. And the possibilities are endless in life. And I see that now from a time that I did not see that, and I thought that everything was going to be set, check. Yes. So I hope that somebody got something from this video. If you have a friend or a family member who may need to hear some of the words in this video, please share that with them. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below, and also don't forget to hit subscribe. Turn on that post bell notification so that you'll be updated every time I post a new video. Also, do not forget to follow me on Instagram at _Kee Samone. There is where I post, you know, here little tidbits and things, and, you know, whatnot going on in my life, or, you know, just my opinions on things, and, you know, just regular everyday things. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, and I truly hope that you find what makes you happy, and that you find what, you know, helps you to grow, and that you are able to live mindfully in the moment, and just go out and conquer the things that you want to conquer. Don't stay in any situation, career, relationship, friendship, or anything that does not serve you, because life is too short. Okay, that is the moral of the video. If I didn't say anything else that was helpful, that is the moral of the video. Okay, so I will just see you all in the next one.